Welcome to the NBA's grandest stage, Game 7 of the Finals.
NBA Finals.
Game 7.
When I hear the words Game 7, I think about the peak of our sport, the most exciting moment and game that there is.
Artest, that's a three.
It means everything. I get one chance to achieve my ultimate goal, ultimate dream I've had since I was a kid.
I always said the best two words in sports, Game 7.
For the first time since 2016, we've got a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. It is a winner-take-all as the NBA season ends. Will it be the MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, winning his first NBA championship? Or will it be the surprise of the postseason? Tyrese Haliburton's Indiana Pacers, underdogs yet again, stealing the crown on the road. One team will win their city's first NBA title. So let's get to it already. We're taking you courtside as we say hello, everybody, and welcome to Hoop Streams. I'm Vanessa Richardson. That is my partner, Iman Shumpert. We're happy to be joined by NBA insider Charania. We got a lot to talk to you about, but first, I want to start with you because you know a thing or two about a Game 7. What are the players thinking coming into tonight?
Do or die. I think that the whole mindset of even keel goes out the window today. I mean, you don't want to be too overly excited, but you do not want to be unprepared for this moment. We saw the Pacers come out last game. They played desperate, and I expect the same thing out of OKC in front of their home crowd. There's nothing better than getting that ball in your hands, knocking that shot down, having your teammate pick you up, just like that. But seriously, it's a team effort on both ends, and you don't stop playing until you see zeros on the clock. You see everybody holding their breath until the last possible second to hoist that trophy up. I'm excited for tonight's game.
I wish everybody could have seen the way that Shump started smiling.
Yeah, Shump.
Yeah, Shump. That video
Just the way Kyrie made sure to take the rubber band off my head.
You were a young guy on that team, and these are two very, very young teams. So we got a lot to get to. We're going to talk about the greatest Game 7s in history, and I'm excited because we've got some video of those as well, and we're going to get their perspective on that. Tim Legler and Brian Windhorst are also stopping by, but we had a big news day in the NBA. Let's get to it. Kevin Durant is heading to the Houston Rockets. Here are the full trade details, and this is, of course, according to our Charania. The Rockets received Kevin Durant. The Suns received Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, the 2025 number 10 pick, and 5 second-round picks. Kevin Durant, by the way, was traded to the Houston Rockets while he was on stage at Fanatics Fest. That video, of course, made the rounds. He smiled. He seemed excited. The crowd was exploding, as you can see. Taylor Rooks there breaking Sham's news to the crowd as they listened to that panel between him, Kevin Durant, of course, and Taylor Rooks. Fun video. All right, so.
That's a roar, though.
Yeah,
he's happy.
I know, he was happy.
All
right, let's address this quickly. I do cover the Houston Rockets. I'm the sideline reporter for the Rockets, so I've been bothering Shams all week, but this is a big deal. How did this come about, Shams?
So over the last several weeks, we've been talking about his potential landing spots, and it really came down to his preferred destinations. The Houston Rockets, the Miami Heat, and the San Antonio Spurs. I gave you that look off camera. You made great points,
the viral
but
look.
I knew the Spurs were not really going to be a threat there. So it really came down over the last 24 hours, Vanessa, to the Miami Heat and the Rockets. And it was really a bidding war at the end of the day. Who was going to offer the most? And at the end of the day, the Rockets offer, with the prolific score of Jalen Green, him and Devin Booker, one of 3 backcourt mates now averaging 20 points per game or more. Dillon Brooks, we know the Suns have been all about toughness, grit, culture, and Dillon Brooks brings that. And then you get the number 10 overall pick. And so the timing, why now? Well, listen, the NBA draft is just a few days away on Wednesday. So you get that number 10 pick, now you can start figuring out who you want to draft at that position. So Kevin Durant's voice played a massive part in this. Other teams that maybe weren't on his preferred list, that were considering trading for him, maybe thought twice based on how he felt about that situation. And why did that matter? He was in the expiring year of his deal. $54.7 million, and as Shump knows as a former player, when you're in your last year of your deal, you have some amount of leverage, some say over what your future could be, especially if you're someone like Kevin Durant.
There are so many connections between Kevin Durant and the Houston Rockets. Let's take a look at them, starting, of course, with head coach Ime Udoka. Ime coached Kevin with Team USA and the Nets. Jeff Green, Uncle Jeff, played with KD in Seattle, OKC, and Brooklyn. Steven Adams played with KD right here in OKC. Royale Ivey, they're both Texas alums. Those two are very good friends. They played together in Oklahoma City as well. And it has been reported that DJ Augustine was hired by the Rockets front office. That has not been confirmed by the franchise, but that has been widely reported. So, Iman, a lot has been made of Kevin Durant's age, 37. But the Rockets have a really young core, and they were able to keep a lot of that core with this trade. So you got Iman Thompson, Jabari Smith Jr., Tari Eason. What does Kevin Durant do for the Rockets' young core?
I think that he just teaches them poise. I think coming into those playoffs, there was a lot of times that you found the Rockets just sort of deer in headlights, didn't know what was going on, game slipping away from them, and they don't even notice. I think when you bring Kevin Durant going into the playoffs, you're not really worried about the first round. You're more worried about the second round and making a deep push into the playoffs. You're worried about the matchup at the end where the superstars are going to bat against each other. And I like my chances if I'm the Houston Rockets. If we can figure out some way to get him the ball in the right places, I like Kevin Durant swinging against any heavy hitter at the end of the game. Sorry, I could barely hear myself once it starts bumping
in here.
It is a
loud building.
It gets loud in here. It gets loud, just I know.
And in what can only be described as an absolute bloodbath of a Western Conference, this is a win-now move.
Vanessa, everyone in that Rockets organization now knows, and everyone in the league now knows, this is a win-now move. This is a trade based for them to win in the playoffs when it matters most. That's how they're going to be judged on. That's how they're basing this trade on. And so when you get Kevin Durant, he's someone that can be a #1 option for you any given night, any given moment. That's how great he still is. He's going to be 37 in September, but his numbers don't indicate someone that's falling off. And you know, the jump shots, the shot creation, the threes, the mid-range, the Rockets struggle in a lot of those areas. Well, Kevin Durant's among the best ever, but definitely in today's NBA, so you have two different contrasts there that Kevin Durant can help with immediately.
I like him right away just knowing that he's going to accept a double team. When you have a guy that takes on a double team, it automatically starts rotations, it automatically starts mismatches, and you got guys attacking closeouts. He makes the game easy.
And I know this, Kevin Durant is excited about that young group. He's excited to play with Alperen Sengun, Iman Thompson, they keep Tari Eason, keep Jabari Smith Jr., you've got some players there, and Fred VanVleet's still a veteran there, and Ime Udoka, a coach that they have a lot of respect as well.
Culture is huge in Houston for not only Ime Udoka, but the Fertittas and Rafael Stone. This is also a culture move.
No question, and the fact that there's the familiarity, Royal Ivy, Kevin Durant very close, Ime Udoka, same thing, and so there's a belief he'll slide right in. He just wants to play basketball. They have some leadership there. The coaching position, Fred VanVleet as well. They have champions now. You know, Kevin Durant's won it before. Fred VanVleet's won it before.
I think it's easy, though. You can plug Kevin Durant. That's what I was talking about. I say the Spurs just because of the way he plays basketball.
No doubt.
But when you talk about anybody down the line, who doesn't want a Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant plays basketball the right way. He doesn't force it. I think the knock on him was that he didn't force it in the end of the game and take the ball away from Russell Westbrook, because that's just not how he plays. That's not what he believes in. So I think they're getting a good guy coming in. It doesn't matter when he comes in.
This is an awesome discussion. Shams, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you breaking the story that everybody has been waiting for.
Everyone's been waiting to see why I gave you that look.
Everybody was, the body language experts were definitely checking it out. Shams, thank you so much. All right, the NBA Finals started 17 days ago, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at how we got here. Game 1 started out well for the Oklahoma City Thunder, leading by 15 points in the fourth, until the Pacers formed that massive comeback, emphasized by a Tyrese Haliburton game winner with 0.03 seconds on the clock. The Pacers take Game 1. All right, on to Game 2. The Thunder learned from their mistakes and got 20 points from Alex Caruso and 18 points from Aaron Wiggins off their bench. The Thunder led by as many as 23 points and won Game 2 handily, 123-107. To Game 3 we go. The Pacers came back with a vengeance. Y'all remember the Benedict Mathurin game, right? He led the Pacers in scoring with 27 points, and the Pacers rallied in the fourth, beating the Thunder 116-107 to take that lead. The Pacers had a chance to go up 3-1 in the series in Game 4, but SGA powered the Thunder to victory, scoring 35 points, including 15 points in the final 5 minutes. Thunder evened the series on the road 2-2. And it was Game 5, we saw Robin step up for Batman as Jalen Williams, a.k.a. J-Dub, scored 40 to lead the Thunder. The MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, added a cool 31, and OKC moved 1 win away from a title by beating the Indiana Pacers 120-109, as it is getting loud in here ahead of Game 7. But let's go back to Game 6. With the Pacers' backs to the wall and Tyrese Haliburton questionable to play with a calf injury, he gutted it out. He made an immediate impact as the Pacers took control. Before the game, look at this. Pascal Siakam looked like a man possessed. He used that energy to throw down a monster poster on Jalen Williams. He finished with 16 points and 13 rebounds. The Thunder had all kinds of issues, shooting 26% from three. Whoa, and finished with 21 turnovers, their most in any game over the last 2 seasons. The Pacers won big, and here we are for tonight's Game 7. And yes, we're going to get to the rest of the show in a second, but I want to just take a moment. Game 7, describe the environment. It is so loud in here. It is pitch black other than our lights. This is a loud arena.
It is. It's a lot of energy going around. I saw a nice Indiana Pacers section over here, and as nice as it is very overpowered by this OKC Thunder crowd. They are going crazy. They have not sat down. There's phone lights out. It's dark. I think I like every song they playing. Let's get it on.
2 very polite fan bases, by the way, so it's been all good so far. All right, so you saw the clip. Pascal Siakam looked like a man possessed. Yeah. We have to see it again. Iman, what are your thoughts here on Pascal Siakam? I don't know what this look was as we're going to take a look at that video.
I saw an interview where he said
what is
he was trying to get focused and locked in, and he forgot his eyes weren't closed. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he was reaching within himself to bring out the dog, because the dog did come out, and they're going to need him to do it again tonight.
The dog came out.
The dog definitely came out.
Hey, whatever he did before the last game, I think the Pacers are hoping that he did it again.
Without a doubt.
Tyrese Haliburton also able to muster that energy and play on. He was not 100%. How impressed were you with his performance?
I was really impressed. The lateral movement, his stabs at the ball, him going after loose balls. You see him passing, getting it back, and then falling into the camera. That seems like it's nothing, but when your calf is bothering you, falling back and using your calf as your brakes, you almost expect something to go wrong at some point when he gets fatigued. To see him play, make plays down the end, make plays, shooting the ball, it was unbelievable to watch, and I think he had a good time doing it, so I'm excited to see what he do for Game 7.
So what do you expect from the Thunder tonight? I mean, this is obviously Game 7, winner takes all.
Well, I think we saw the Thunder's bench crumble, and I don't expect to see that again. I expect them to be firing on all cylinders. I expect the 50-50 balls to be gone after. I was talking to Norris Cole earlier, another fellow champion, and he was saying this might be the game between Caruso and McConnell.
Ooh.
Whoever plays better, that it might show who will be the champion. So I'm excited to see it now. I can't get it out of my head.
We've already had a couple of TJ McConnell legacy games, and Alex Caruso has definitely stepped up. It's going to be fascinating, to say the least. As they are playing music, my man Shump bopping his head. The energy in here is incredible. Speaking of energy, good fashion, good vibes. Should we do another walk it out one more time for the one time?
Let's
walk
do it.
It out.
One time for the last time. Here we go. Here we go.
All right. Yeah, we got the
here we
MVP.
go.
Got leather on the bottom, got that nice chain, got the hat, all business. What do you think, Shump?
I love it. Business as usual, but he looked like he also could be the bouncer. He is the one that allows you to walk into the arena, or he could kick you out.
Tyrese Haliburton with a little, is it like a Letterman's jacket situation?
I love the Letterman, but I think it's an ode to the old Pacers. If you go back and look at Reggie Miller and those guys, that's how they came. Big jeans, black shirt tucked in, Letterman on, or a blazer. That's how they came. He ain't covering the hair. You know, he got the nice hair. But he ain't going to cover the hair. But that's how he, oh, man.
This is like, are we going fishing?
My boy came on a skateboard. I love it. Caruso always chill, man, but always switches up the look. I like that he's always in a theme. He looks like he's going to send somebody fishing.
He is going to, yeah, absolutely. All right, Pascal Siakam, our demon-possessed. He's got the shades on. His future is so bright, he apparently needs those shades.
I like it. Cover them eyes up, man.
And he's won a championship.
He has. And I think that he's ready for business, though. You look at his outfit, this isn't something that he wouldn't wear any other place. He's letting you know this is business as usual.
All right, the last one, I have a lot of questions. I don't have many answers. Can you help me, Iman?
Hey, man, this is what the young kids are into, man. I know I'm a little out of that range now, but at one point, I would have understood this. The fur is to pop it out, but it's too hot to have a real fur. So he went fur with the man bag. It ain't no telling what computer is in there. I know he got Game 6 in that book bag somewhere. Game 6 is on an iPad. He ready to play, though, I promise.
I don't know if I understand that amount of fur. But but I guess we'll go with it as we welcome in Brian Windhorst. Do you have that same bag, Brian?
You know, I'm so disappointed because now I can't wear it out.
Yeah.
I actually have it in pink, Vanessa. So it'll be okay.
Check out these two, by the way, on the Hoop Collective. They've been going viral for good reason. Incredible analysis, some of the best in the NBA. Brian, who would have thought we'd be here? Game 7.
You know, everybody in this building tonight's going to have a story. Some of the people have been here, season ticket holders for 17 years. Some of these people drove in from across the country. There's quite a few Pacers fans here. This is a moment where all these players, it means so much. They just took the floor. Everybody in here will have remembered, just like everybody has a story about 2016, right?
That's true.
It's an all-time memory. This is an all-time memory. This is the biggest sporting event ever played in the history of the state of Oklahoma.
Love that.
Okay? So this is a very, very big moment. Everybody here feels it. Even guys like Caruso and Siakam, yeah, they got rings. They never played in a Game 7 before. So this is something that everybody is going to feel nerves about. And this is my 4th Game 7 in the finals that I've covered. And the other 3, they were all very nervous games. You remember, Shump, it was 93-89. 89 points for the Warriors, that all-time great Warriors team, only 89 points. These games tend to be a little bit slower scoring, a little bit more pressure, a little bit more nerves.
All right, let's go through some of these classic Game 7s. The last 20 years, there have only been 4 Game 7s in the NBA Finals. So let's go ahead and roll that video. We start with the 2005 NBA Finals between the Pistons and Spurs. The series was all about defense. Only Game 4 had a score above 100 points. How about that? But when it mattered most, behind clutch plays from Mr. Reliable, Tim Duncan and Manu Ginobili, in the 4th quarter, the Spurs took control. They won their 2nd title in 3 years. Next up, the iconic 2010 Finals between the Celtics and Lakers. LA would force a Game 7 after being down 3-2 in the series. The late, great Kobe Bryant finished with 23 points and 15 rebounds, leading the Lakers to the win and giving him his 5th and last title of his career. To 2013 we go, Spurs Heat, the finals that everyone remembers for Ray Allen's incredible Game 6 shot, but it was Game 7 that saw King James post a monster 37-12 night en route to that Heat win. Back-to-back titles for and a Finals MVP, of course, for LeBron James, which brings us to the legendary 2016 NBA Finals. Shump, take it away.
Man, this is the clutch to the block, man. One of the craziest blocks I've ever seen. To the step back, step side. Hey! Kyrie Irving. And then toward the end, man, we had to get a stop, get a rebound, watch it go down to 0, and then you go watch a grown man cry, man. That's usually what the championship does.
Then you guys went to Vegas.
Can we flex on him? Can we flex on him for a second?
It was a good time. Afterwards, we thought we were going to fly back to Cleveland. Our owners had us stop in Vegas. We had a celebration. I don't know how all the Cleveland fans got out there. Unbelievable celebration. Whoever takes home the title, enjoy your night.
Brian, what do you remember? You were there covering it as a journalist.
I remember 2 things. One, the block. It happened so fast, Shump. It happened so fast. And the Kyrie shot. Nobody had scored. Nobody had scored for like 3-4 minutes. And then finally Kyrie hits that shot. And the thing about what that was is that team had momentum. They came on the road, they weren't afraid, and every minute that the game went on that it was close, the Cavs more and more believed.
Yeah.
I think the same thing tonight. This game gets to the last 5 minutes, and it's a game. But inside 10 points in 5 minutes, the Pacers are going to believe. That's their goal. Of course, they'd love to get out to a big lead. Their goal is to make this a game in the 4th quarter. If this is a game in the 4th quarter, advantage Pacers. If the Thunder get real hot early, maybe they can blow them out. But I say every minute that goes by, just like in 2016, that it's close, chance for the underdog to take it.
All right, you are watching Hoop Streams. We've got what is sure to be an exciting Game 7 on the way. We're moments away now from the start of 7. Interesting to note here, the Thunder are 3-2 in Game 7s. Since relocating to OKC, the Pacers are now 4-6 in Game 7s. In franchise history, the Thunder will be happy to be back home for tonight's game. They're 10-2 on their home floor and averaging nearly 15 points per game more than anyone on the road in these playoffs. So it is sure to be an incredible night tonight. We are going to be joined shortly by our Tim Legler. That is the MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Batman and Robin there, J-Dub. Could be a big night for J-Dub, Shump.
Yeah, man, I want to see J-Dub get back comfortable. Thought he took his foot off the gas when he didn't shoot it well right away. When you're in these moments, you can't feel like that. You got to stay patient. You got to keep getting downhill, getting to the line, and getting shots up so that you can get in the rhythm. If we can see a rhythm from him tonight, I think that would calm SGA's nerves a whole lot.
I feel like as we welcome in Tim Legler, this is the perfect group of people to say this to, because it's been on my mind since the beginning of the finals, and people talked about ratings and small markets. People that like basketball and know basketball have loved this series and knew that it would be, at the very least, a decent series. What have you liked about it so far, Tim?
Well, first of all, style of play. Right?
Yeah.
Ball movement, player movement, shooting. I just like covering that. I also think there are so many variables in this series for both teams because of the depth. On any given night, there are so many different guys that we might be making the headline after when the game's over, outside of the stars. Both teams, and I think that's going to happen again tonight. There's going to be a couple guys that probably look uncomfortable, and there's going to be a couple of guys that rise to the occasion from that supporting cast. Someone's going to step up and have a big moment tonight, and then you become immortal. Yeah. Right? If you're a role player and you do it on this stage tonight, you become immortal, right? And so that's what we're going to see tonight, and there are so many different guys that could be. That's why I love this series.
Really, yeah, like you said, on both teams. We've already had some TJ McConnell legacy games. If the Pacers win tonight, Brian, would this be like the toughest road to a championship that you've seen?
Yes, this would be the greatest underdog story probably you've ever seen. They're the number 4 seed. They were under 500 30 games into the season. Not 5. 30 games into the season, they were under 500. They have not had home court advantage since the first round, so they would have come back in rounds 2, 3, and 4 and won without home court advantage. And then this series, Oklahoma City was as big of a favorite as we've seen in the modern era. They were huge. They've been a favorite every game in this series. And so if they're able to pull out one more win, they go down in history as one of the most amazing teams we've ever seen in the NBA.
10 wins as an underdog this postseason. But Iman, as you and I have talked about so many times, I don't think they mind the fact that they are continuously counted out and viewed as underdogs. It's like they almost embrace that.
Yeah, I think that they know that at the end of the games, they can put together a better end game than anybody in the NBA. I'm not sure if that happened based upon proof that they had, proof of concept within doing it the first couple times in the playoffs, or if they just been doing that since playing in practice together. But they seem so comfortable at the end of those games. Even when they lose, they seem comfortable in those moments.
Did you see what Rick Carlisle did before the game to embrace the underdog status?
Oh, the buses.
I mean, there's a video of the painted buses for tomorrow's, or the parade if the Thunder win. Guys, there's hats and shirts in this building tonight that have the Pacers as champions. That's what you do. You prepare to win. There's a Pacers parade planned next week, just like there's a Thunder parade planned. But Rick Carlisle knows that his team loves being the underdog, so he juices them up before the game with this video that's really not that big of a deal, but that's what Rick Carlisle does. He's got his team to respond doing that, so why not?
Rick also has a little bit of a flair for the dramatics, which is why we love him, Tim.
Yeah, look, I look at a game like this, weather the storm. If you're Indiana, how many games you've seen in this building this year where Oklahoma City bullies you with 6 minutes of great defense and they turn it into offense. This place blows the roof off. Now you got a problem digging out of that. I think Indiana has to weather that, take care of the ball early. One thing I like about Indiana in this game is the distribution of responsibility on their roster is greater. 8 guys averaging double figures in this series. OKC's got 4 of those.
Crazy.
So there's more variables for Indiana to play well on any given night. Rick Carlisle's a great coach. He's going to push certain buttons. I just think if they can be within striking distance with 4 or 5 minutes to go, to Shump's point, they believe they're going to execute better at the end of the game. OKC doesn't want to be in that situation. Put them away before they get there.
What have you liked about that concept, as Tim just said, of team basketball that the Pacers have played this entire series?
I like it because you never see one guy super gassed. I think throughout the series, we've seen Jalen Williams at times just begging for air. You see SGA begging for air, and it's just from them wearing down on them. They picking up 94 feet. They bother them all game. They're throwing the ball back and forth. You go look at that Pacers side. You pressure one of them, they throw it to the other guy. He brings it up. They run the ball through, and they make sure they swing the ball side to side so your defense never gets stable. I think they had 1 or 2 games this series where they didn't do so, and they lost convincingly. But other than that, you see them change sides of the floor over and over. They have no problem hitting the open man on the weak side, and they have no problem shooting that shot with 2 seconds, 1 second on the shot clock. So I think as long as they can get shot attempts tonight rather than turnovers, I think they got a pretty good chance over here on the road.
So this is SGA's first finals appearance, and sometimes that first crack at a finals appearance doesn't go as planned. As we take a look at some stars in their first NBA finals, LeBron swept in 2007 versus the Spurs. KD lost in 5 in 2012 versus the Heat. Dirk lost in 6 to the Heat. Shaq swept in 95 versus the Rockets. Iman, how much pressure is on SGA?
I think there's pressure, but there's also a lot of pressure just because people expect you to win.
Right.
I don't think that there's pressure to see if he can win, what he's supposed to do. Right now, the pressure is, are you what we think you are? And can you put this team away? Because we all know if it gets to the end of the game, it's up for grabs. We want to see this put away so that we can see you hoist not only this trophy, but all 4 trophies, as you want to say, bro.
The situation for SGA tonight is absolutely enormous. He wins, he's basically got a Hall of Fame resume.
Wow.
MVP, scoring champion, Western Conference Finals MVP. I don't see how they win tonight and he's not the MVP. If he doesn't play great, they don't win. That's amazing. He loses, he's on that list. And now he's got to, with all this greatness, he's got to live with the fact that he didn't get the thing done when they had a lead and they had a home game. He could play it down to neutral and 0. This is as high a stakes of a game as you can have as a player and a guy at SGA tonight.
Think about this. If he's able to get this done tonight, play well, lead them to a win, this is an organization that had 3 different guys on their roster that went on to become MVPs.
That's right.
Think about the talent that they had here with those. Now, I know they broke up, Harden left when they were still very young. Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook stuck around for quite a while. Both won MVPs. We're not able to do that. Get this thing across the finish line. That's where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has a chance tonight to do something that other all-time great players were not able to. That's kind of what's at stake for him.
All right, as we, it is getting really, really, really loud in here. Like, it's hard to even hear each other. We're going to give out some Hoop Streams awards for the loyal viewers that have been with us the whole time. Most dramatic moment, you already know, this is going to Tyrese Haliburton Game 1. Ryan, how crazy was that? That's the way that we started the finals. That wasn't Game 2, that wasn't Game 3, that's how it started.
Was that about a month and a half ago? I still don't know how they won this game. This is why the Pacers got to Game 7. They stole this game, and it enabled them to have a cushion when they struggled in the middle of the series to give them this chance tonight.
All right, the award for best dress. Now, not everybody liked Reggie Miller's outfits, the jeans, all that, but I like that he constantly repped his former teammates during the finals. He was wearing Mark Jackson's throwback. He was wearing Jalen Rose's jersey. Iman, what did you think of Reggie Miller's looks during the finals?
I think it's dope because Reggie Miller is one of those guys that he doesn't forget his history. He doesn't forget anything that goes on. He was one of those players that took things personal. And I think that he is taking it personal and making it his business, whether the other guys show up or not, to wear their jerseys, to keep their legacy going on, let them know they're not forgotten. The same way you're saying SGA has a chance to hoist it up for Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and the rest of the Thunder. I think Reggie Miller feels the same way for Haliburton and the Indiana Pacers, so it's beautiful to see.
All right, real quick, game picks. Iman, who takes it all tonight?
Woo. Again, if it's at the end, I cannot bet against the Pacers. But it'd be hard for me not to see SGA, like you said, have this type of resume, have this type of season, and then not take home a championship.
Oklahoma City big or Pacers close?
Tim Legler.
Hardest game I think I've ever picked in all the years I've worked at ESPN, honestly. It's a coin toss to me, but I'm going to lean toward the 68-win team that had the best defense in the league at home with the MVP in a Game 7 in a close game.
Guys, this has been so much fun. Coming up next, the 2 best words in sports, Game 7. Shump, it's been so much fun. What a ride. Wendy, thanks for joining us. Legs, thank you so much. And thank you all for watching Hoop Streams. Game 7 coming your way.
Here we go.